You need to know if mewing is worth your time or effort because you could be wasting your time or making those jaw gains. I spent the last 6 hours doing my research to see if mewing can fix your jawline. The answers I came across were very conflicting. There is a lot of evidence that mewing can work, but there's also equally as much against it. Let's go over both. Orthotropics is the belief that facial features are not fixed and can be changed with the environment surrounding it. Mewing fits this category. If we want to talk about mewing, we have to talk about the source of mewing, Dr. Mike Mew. He is the inventor of mewing. It's in his name, of course. I mean, Dr. Mike Mew. Let's hear him talk about mewing.
The orthodontist's solution is straightforward. Align the teeth within the existing structure. This approach only provides a temporary remedy without addressing the underlying cause. The moment the orthodontic treatment is finished and the alignment is achieved, the teeth can relapse. Those who have undergone orthodontic treatment may relate to this. They are often handed retainers and told to wear them forever. If the teeth don't stay straight without a retainer, then what is actually achieved? Our ancestors had well-aligned teeth from birth to death without any assistance. This is what a bad swallow looks like. A proper swallow should show no indication within the face, like this. If you want to achieve hollow cheeks, it's important to relax the jaw, cheeks, and chin muscles as much as possible and use the tongue to swallow. If you don't do this, the cheek muscles and jaw muscle will overdevelop. Mewing. Now, with mewing, I recommend it should be done constantly, and you adopt this as your new facial posture. Whenever you end a conversation with someone, that tongue needs to slam on the top of the palate. For people finding it difficult, I recommend doing it for a minimum of 8 hours a day.
I did do some digging. He is a dentist and has a PhD, and his father, John Mew, was the creator of orthotropics. There's a huge history lesson back there I'm not going to go into this video. He does have the credibility to back him up with a PhD and a background in facial surgery. The study that he claims is widely regarded by the medical community is quackery. However, I think it's best that we take all studies at face value because these same people are saying that seed oils are good for us and that natural polysaccharides are bad for us. I found one other person talking about orthotropics with a PhD. Andrew Huberman never talked about mewing directly, but he did talk about jaw exercises and nasal breathing. He talks about a book called Jaws, A Hidden Epidemic. Here's him talking about that book.
I've heard you should sleep with like athletic tape on your mouth so you train yourself to breathe through your nose because apparently it's way better for you.
Yeah, I'll do cardio. I do a long run once a week or some long cardio. I do it. I try and not mouth breathe the whole time.
Can it also change face shape?
Yeah, so there's a wild book called Jaws, A Hidden Epidemic by colleagues of mine at Stanford, and they have these twin studies. One kid grows up in a culture where they eat a lot of soft food, drinking Capri Sun, eating applesauce, baby food. The other one is, got stuck in the jungle or wherever it is, and they're chewing on bones and chewing their food. And one kid, these are identical twins, has beautiful jaw structure and high cheekbones, and the eyes look nice and clear. The other kid is like droopy, the teeth are there, and their mouth breathing, right? And you should be able to put your tongue on the roof of your mouth with your mouth closed. I can't quite do it. Your palate should be somewhat wide, and so when we see, now there's the Jawzerciser is really big in Hollywood. That and peptides are like taking over.
Wait, Jawzerciser?
Yeah, they are these like things where like
bouncy mouthpiece.
Yeah. The only problem is it makes people drool. It's pretty gross. But
Those work?
Exercise, they definitely work. They change your facial structure.
It is really interesting to know that this book has been talked about at Stanford University. Andrew Huberman does have a PhD at Stanford. However, I don't think his degree in neuroscience does matter too much for this case. I can imagine he's done his own digging and his own research about this matter, but in no way has he ever promoted any tool or use. There has been a lot of uproar recently due to memes.
Free will is a myth. Religion is a joke. It's controlled by something greater. Memes. The DNA of the soul.
There has been a steady amount of videos before this trend ever came into being about looks maxing and mewing. There are several people online that claim it's real and have transformation videos to show for it. If you look up mewing transformation, you will find these videos. That's if you filter out all the memes, that is. There are people in higher education that believe in orthotropics and mewing, so it's definitely above bro science at this point. However, doing my own research, a lot of websites have been saying that there's no substantial evidence of it working at all. The top result on YouTube asking if mewing works is a channel called Dr. Gary Linkoff. Dr. Linkoff knows that the bone right here is responsible for the angle of the jaw. I'll let him take it over.
That go beyond just tongue position. And that obtuse cervical mental angle that you see on some people is often caused by the positioning of the hyoid bone. Instead of being positioned superior and posterior, the hyoid bone in some people is positioned more anterior and inferior, and that is sometimes what leads to that obtuse angle. Also, some people have more subplatysmal fat, and that too can create that heavy neck appearance. So it's not just the lack of jaw definition and tongue position that causes that heavy neck. And we know that through procedures such as deep neck surgery, that by removing that excess fat and by resculpting some of those muscles, you're able to get much better definition in the cervical mental angle without having to do any type of jaw exercises.
He believes that mewing is dangerous and jaws can be fixed with weight loss or surgery. This is concerning for the argument of mewing because this is a licensed doctor in the general medical community. Having a medical doctor telling you no, it isn't good, will put a lot of people off. However, I believe there are some people that will claim that's even better that the medical community doesn't accept this because they don't believe in general doctors. However, Dr. Linkoff's speech and argument was very convincing. Keeping the trend of people with PhDs, introducing Dr. Mike. After skimming his entire video to even get to the topic of the title, thank you for that.
I see those jaw trainer things on TikTok till they actually work. Bro, Cristiano Ronaldo got paid mad money to do that ad, and you shouldn't really be using these things because the masseter muscles are really strong. But the reality is if you overdo it, you can create problems in the TMJ area that literally cause you to have a pain in the head. Not a pain in the butt, but a pain in the head. And then at night, if you overtrain these muscles, you can start doing teeth clenching and teeth grinding, wearing down your molars. You do not want these problems, trust me on this. I've seen patients who suffer with it. It's a big problem.
Dr. Mike in this short clip believes that jaw exercises leads to pain in the head and grinding of the teeth. I would have liked him to go deeper on the topic of this, since it was the topic of the damn video. For a doctor to say there's an issue and a problem and just say, trust me bro, doesn't really put me in a good spot for an argument. There is a counter community to mewing, and it's mostly people reacting to those mewing transformation videos with negative comments and other creators talking about looks maxing and the negative effects. I really hate to take the neutral position here. I wanted to have a clear conclusion, but I think there should be more evidence for either side. Like, I don't see a lot of evidence on one side. I don't see any studies at all really saying that mewing doesn't have any effect, but there's such little studies just showing that mewing works. Now, is mewing worth your time and effort? I think it's something valuable to look into. Really doesn't waste any of your time at all, considering that I could be mewing right now when I edit this video, or you're doing the dishes, or you're at work, like, you know, cooking something up like a minimum wage job. However, I would argue it's important to nose breathe, because when you breathe through your mouth, you just look like a fucking twat. This is the most effort I've ever put into a video, so I really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, because you'd be guaranteed mouth presence. And any feedback is very welcomed. Make sure to love yourself so you can save yourself.